Good evening, everyone. Let me ask you a question. What if success isn't something extraordinary? What if greatness isn't reserved for a handful of gifted people? What if the biggest difference between the people we admire and everyone else isn't talent, intelligence, or luck? What if it's simply what they choose to do today? Every morning, the world gives us a blank page. Some people wait for the perfect moment to write something meaningful on it. They wait for motivation. They wait for confidence. They wait until everything feels right. But the people who leave a mark on the world don't wait. They begin. Not because they have all the answers, not because they know exactly where they're going. They begin because they understand something that many people overlook. Life isn't transformed by one giant decision. It's transformed by thousands of tiny ones. Think about that. A single workout won't make you healthy. A single book won't make you wise. A single conversation won't build trust. A single act of kindness won't define your character. But repeated every day, these simple actions become something extraordinary. Excellence isn't an event, it's a habit. And habits don't ask whether you feel inspired. They ask whether you're willing. We live in a world that celebrates dramatic moments. We celebrate championships, promotions, million-dollar businesses, best-selling books, standing ovations, and breakthrough discoveries. But we rarely celebrate the thousands of mornings that made those moments possible. We don't applaud the early alarms. We don't cheer for the lonely hours. We don't see the quiet sacrifices. We only notice the result. Imagine watching an iceberg floating in the ocean. From a distance, it looks majestic, massive, powerful. But what you see above the water is only a small fraction of what actually exists. Success works the same way. People see confidence. They don't see years of self-doubt. People see achievement. They don't see countless failures. People see victory. They don't see every ordinary day when someone chose discipline instead of excuses. That's where daily excellence lives, not under bright lights, but in quiet moments. In the choices nobody notices. In the promises you make to yourself when no one is watching. Because character isn't built when the crowd is cheering. Character is built when the room is silent. Here's something fascinating. Every single day, your future is watching your present. Your future isn't asking whether today was perfect. It isn't demanding flawless performance. It's asking a much simpler question. Did you show up? Did you keep your word? Did you move forward even one step? Because progress has never required perfection. It has always required consistency. Too many people believe they need a completely different life before they can become a different person. They think they need more money, more time, more opportunities, better circumstances. But history tells a different story. Some of the greatest journeys began in ordinary places. Some of the strongest leaders began with uncertainty. Some of the most remarkable achievements began with someone simply refusing to quit. The world often tells us to chase perfection. But perfection is an impossible destination. The moment you think you've reached it, it moves farther away. Excellence is different. Excellence isn't about never making mistakes. It's about refusing to let mistakes define your future. It's about learning faster than you quit. It's about growing faster than fear. It's about becoming a little better today than you were yesterday. That's all. 1%, not 100%. 1. Imagine improving just a little every single day. At first, nobody notices. A week passes, nothing dramatic. A month passes, still nothing spectacular. But keep going. Months become years. Small improvements become remarkable abilities. Ordinary routines become extraordinary results. And one day, people call you successful. They'll say you were lucky. They'll say you were naturally gifted. They'll say everything came easily. But you'll know the truth. You'll know success wasn't built in one day. It was built every day. There's another lesson that life quietly teaches us. The strongest trees don't grow because the weather is always perfect. They grow because their roots learn to survive every season. Storms don't weaken healthy roots. They strengthen them. Challenges do the same for us. Difficult conversations, unexpected failures, disappointments, moments when nothing goes according to plan. These aren't interruptions to excellence. They're part of it. Because resilience isn't developed during comfort. It's developed when comfort disappears. Every setback asks the same question: who are you when things become difficult? Anyone can be positive when life is easy. Anyone can be disciplined for a few days. Anyone can dream about becoming extraordinary, but daily excellence belongs to the people who continue after enthusiasm fades, when nobody is applauding, when nobody believes in them, when results are invisible, because they understand something incredibly powerful. The most important person you'll ever convince isn't your boss. It isn't your family. It isn't the audience. It's yourself. Every promise you keep to yourself strengthens confidence. Every promise you break weakens trust. And confidence isn't created by positive thinking alone. Confidence is earned. It's earned by proving to yourself over and over again that your actions match your intentions. Every morning you wake up, you have an opportunity to vote for the person you're becoming. Every decision is a vote. Choosing honesty is a vote. Choosing discipline is a vote. Choosing kindness is a vote. Choosing courage instead of comfort is a vote. One vote doesn't decide the election. But thousands of votes create a future. The life you experience tomorrow is quietly being shaped by the choices you make today. Not the dramatic choices, the ordinary ones, the invisible ones, the daily ones. And that's why mastering the art of daily excellence isn't about becoming someone else. It's about becoming more of who you're capable of being. It's about understanding that greatness isn't hidden somewhere in the future. It begins with the next decision you make, the next conversation you have, the next promise you keep, the next opportunity to choose growth over excuses. And when enough of those choices come together, something incredible happens. You stop chasing success. You become the kind of person success naturally follows. Good evening, everyone. I want to begin with a question that may seem simple, but I believe it carries the power to change the direction of your life. When people remember you years from now, what will they remember first? Will it be the size of your bank account, the title on your business card, the house you lived in, the car you drove, or the awards hanging on your wall? Or will they remember the person you became? We spend so much of our lives chasing achievements that we rarely stop to ask whether those achievements are changing us for the better. We become experts at measuring success with numbers. We count followers, profits, promotions, degrees, possessions, and accomplishments. We compare ourselves with people whose lives we only see through carefully selected moments. We keep moving from one goal to the next, believing that happiness is waiting on the other side of the next milestone. But life has a remarkable way of asking a different question. Not, what have you accomplished? But who have you become while accomplishing it? Because there is a profound difference between building a successful life and building a meaningful one. Success can be admired from a distance. Character can only be experienced up close. Success may open doors, but character determines what happens after you walk through them. Think about the people who have influenced your life the most. Chances are you don't remember them because they were the richest people you ever met. You don't remember them because they had the most impressive resume or the loudest voice in the room. You remember them because of how they made you feel. You remember their kindness when you needed encouragement, their courage when everyone else remained silent, their integrity when taking shortcuts would have been easier, their generosity when nobody expected them to give. The impact they left had very little to do with what they owned and everything to do with who they were. That is one of life's greatest truths. The greatest achievement you will ever earn is not something you receive. It is someone you become. The world often teaches us to chase outcomes, but outcomes are temporary. Every trophy eventually gathers dust. Every record is eventually broken. Every position is eventually filled by someone else. Even the most celebrated victories slowly become memories, but the qualities you develop along the journey have the power to stay with you for the rest of your life. Imagine climbing a mountain. Most people focus on reaching the summit. They picture the incredible view, the sense of accomplishment, the celebration that comes with standing at the top, but something much more important is happening during the climb. Every difficult step strengthens your legs. Every obstacle sharpens your judgment. Every challenge teaches patience. Every setback develops resilience. By the time you reach the summit, the greatest reward isn't the view. It's the person capable of reaching it. Life works the same way. Goals give us direction, but growth gives us transformation. The destination may change your circumstances, the journey changes you. And if we're honest, some of the most valuable lessons we've ever learned didn't come from winning. They came from failing. Failure has an unusual way of introducing us to ourselves. Success often reveals what we can do. Failure reveals who we are. It exposes our fears, our doubts, our habits, and our beliefs. It forces us to ask difficult questions. It strips away the illusion that growth is comfortable. None of us enjoys those moments. None of us wakes up hoping for disappointment. But if you look back at your own life, you'll probably discover that the moments you wanted to avoid became the moments that shaped you the most. Perhaps it was the opportunity you didn't get, the relationship that ended, the business that didn't succeed, the dream that seemed to fall apart at the time. It felt like life was working against you. But years later, you realized life was actually working on you. There is a difference. Sometimes we are so focused on changing our circumstances that we forget our circumstances may be trying to change us. Think about a sculptor standing in front of a massive block of marble. To someone passing by, it looks like destruction. Pieces fall away. Dust fills the air. The stone appears to be losing more than it is gaining. But the sculptor sees something different. Every strike of the chisel removes what doesn't belong. Little by little, the masterpiece begins to emerge. Life often works with us in the same way. Challenges remove pride. Disappointments remove arrogance. Responsibility removes immaturity. Time removes illusions. And through that process, something stronger begins to appear. Not a perfect person, but a wiser one. Not someone who has all the answers, but someone who has learned better questions. One of the greatest misconceptions about personal growth is believing it happens automatically. Older is inevitable. Growing wiser is intentional. Every year gives us more experiences. Only reflection turns those experiences into wisdom. That's why two people can live through the exact same situation and come away as completely different individuals. One becomes bitter, the other becomes compassionate. One becomes fearful, the other becomes courageous. One builds walls, the other builds understanding. The event didn't determine their future. Their response did. Every single day, life quietly offers us that choice. We may not choose every circumstance that enters our lives, but we always have the opportunity to choose the kind of person we will be inside those circumstances. That choice shapes everything else. Because character is not built in extraordinary moments. It is revealed through ordinary decisions repeated over time. When nobody is watching, who are you? When no reward is waiting, what do you choose? When honesty becomes expensive, do you still value it? When kindness isn't returned, do you continue offering it? When success arrives, do you remain humble? These moments rarely make headlines. They rarely receive applause. Yet these are the moments that quietly construct the foundation of a meaningful life. We often underestimate small decisions because they don't feel important, but identity is never created through one dramatic moment. It is created through patterns. Every promise you keep to yourself shapes your confidence. Every act of discipline strengthens your character. Every moment of courage expands your future. Every decision to forgive frees part of your own heart. Every act of gratitude changes the way you see the world. None of these moments seem extraordinary on their own. Yet together, they begin creating someone extraordinary. Imagine if every morning you stood in front of a mirror and instead of asking, "What do I need to achieve today?" you asked a different question. What kind of person deserves the future I hope to build? That question changes everything because it shifts your attention from external rewards to internal transformation. Instead of asking how to become more successful, you begin asking how to become more trustworthy. Instead of asking how to gain more influence, you begin asking how to become more valuable. Instead of asking how to impress people, you begin asking how to genuinely serve them. Those questions have a remarkable way of reshaping your priorities. And when your priorities change, your habits begin to change. When your habits change, your character begins to change. And when your character changes, your future rarely stays the same. Most people spend years trying to create the perfect life. Few spend enough time creating the person capable of living it. Yet that is where lasting fulfillment begins. Not in becoming someone admired by everyone else, but in becoming someone you can deeply respect when the room is quiet, when the applause is faded, and when the only voice you hear is your own conscience, asking whether your life reflects your deepest values.